Notice how I'm going between these two steps. You can take steps out and add steps and remove steps from image to image. It doesn't matter. We can make this flexible as we need it to be. And then if you forget, okay, which one of these is the correct size for this image? I'm getting a little confused. So what you can do is look. Let me spread this out just a little bit. You can drop down the actual processes in this step, and I can see that the height is 800 pixels. So this is the one that is assigned to the portrait orientation pictures. So since this is landscape, and I can confirm that by saying width 800 pixels. That's what I'm looking for on the landscape orientation. So I refresh my memory. I go ahead and hit play, and everything happens to this image that should be happening to it. And as we get towards the end of the series, you can see how the images are loading just a bit faster because of the additional RAM that's been freed up by the other images falling out as we get them processed. And even though we are dealing with a little bit of choke on the RAM with this machine, it's still infinitely faster than if you had to do these one by one. And of course the last one here in the series. So now they're all done. Now what we're going to do is go to Bridge, and we're going to check and make sure that all of these are in there, and it looks as if they are indeed. And we are boosting the noise just a little bit, but again, these are proofs just for Jerry to look at, for him to tell me which ones he wants included. And I don't really care about perfection on these proofs, but when I go to put these on the internet, I'm going to really drill down on getting rid of some of this noise. But I gotta say, these were shot at a 6400 ISO, and compared with my 1D Mark II, which is a noise generator in my opinion, these are very clean files. So these are looking good. So I like these. Okay, and then we would probably finish up with putting another batch into Photoshop, running them through the action in exactly the same way we did the other batch until we have all 140 images ready to upload to Dropbox. Jerry can download them, take a look, and then let me know. So how fast was that? That entire 30 images took exactly 2.5 minutes to process, all automated with Actions. So now you know why I use Actions with every single project that I do. Now here's another way to use Actions in a still more sophisticated manner, and that's through the Automate process. You go to File, Automate, Batch. And let's take a look at that. Now the action is already loaded here. On the set of default actions, the action is the CCBOC. The source is a folder, so I got to choose the folder I want these to come out of. And this will be my folder that I want the images to come from. And the destination is going to be right here. And then, of course, if I want to give my document names a special name, this is where I would do that. But I want everything to stay just exactly as it is because he's going to give me the file number. I'm going to go back and pull those images from the high-resolution TIFF folder and then get them properly prepared for the internet with all kinds of detailed tweaking to go on them. Then all I would do is hit OK, and then this action would run all by itself until every single one of those 140 images was put into its Jerry folder. Now, the reason I didn't do it this way to begin with is because I had the mixture of the horizontal, or what we call the landscape orientation, with the portrait orientation. And what I had to do was change the size settings between the two orientations. And I've done this before, and separating them out into different folders is a longer process than simply sitting there and going one to the next and making a switch between the two orientation folders. So if everything were exactly the same in terms of size, if I knew I was going to do exactly the same thing to every single image in that folder, then this is when you would come to the batch dialog box under File to process my images. Then I just click this one time and I can go pour a cup of coffee because I know it's all going to happen automatically. So there you go. That's the way to use actions in an everyday process and how they can really, really help you get from point A to point B much more quickly than doing everything manually. Learn actions if you really want to get in and out of your project in a reasonable amount of time.